What's going on, world? It's a great day today. No, actually, it's not fabulous. It is a terrific Thursday. And we've come to talk about a subject today that I avoid like the plague. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Um, well, first of all, let me introduce my girl to you, Lenor Sherman. What's going on today?
Hey, Marky, how you guys doing today?
And you know what? They doing fabulous. And let me tell you why they doing fabulous. I've known Lenore now for, I don't know, 15 years out here on the south side of the city of Chicago, out here in these real estate streets, as we call them,
Yes.
doing things traditionally that you don't even see a lot of women do. One, you're in the construction side of the business. Two, you're in the property management side of the business, and you handle your business. So I want to
Yes, you do.
applaud you for standing up and representing, letting women know that they can be in the construction side of business, the rehab side of the business, and the property management side of the business. And there are definitely women who are doing it because they've seen you do it. And so it's not for the faint at heart. And I know that you have a giving heart. So I would like to thank you now for contributing, right, to the Marki Lemons-Ryhal Education Scholarship and all the other things that you do, because I know that you have personally supported me and that you support the community. But we over here to talk about the fact that you're willing to share how you do what it is that you do, and that is property management. What made you decide that you wanted to share?
Oh my gosh, Marky. The last couple of years in real estate, we've seen such a huge boom in the Chicagoland area as far as investors. Right now, investors are all the rage. Buy a house, create generational wealth. And the biggest thing that I've seen in property management, in the real estate industry overall, is that there's not enough sufficient property management. We are creating a lot of investors out here inside of the world, and yet there's no one that is to maintain these properties. It's a consistent circle of us buying properties. Somehow they're becoming diminished and they're falling right back down and they're getting foreclosed on. And then next thing you know, the properties are put back on the market for another investor to buy. And it's a continuous cycle on the south and west side of Chicago. For me, I always tell people it's not about acquiring a property. It's about stabilizing the building, creating income coming in off of that building, providing a nice, decent, safe place for people to call home. And then through that process is how you build up wealth. A lot of investors come in and they want to buy the property and they think that just buying the property creates the wealth. It's actually through maintaining it, managing the property, and building the equity inside of the property that we built the wealth. And I often tell realtors, like, you are the perfect person to help a owner to create that wealth by managing the property. Who knows the property better than the realtor who is selling it to the investor? So I get a lot of calls during COVID. I got so many calls of tenant issues and tenant problems. And a lot of people were like, you're not having these problems. I said, I'm not having any of those problems. We haven't had to evict any tenants. I haven't had people not paying. And they were like, okay, what are you doing? And so I started to help them, but I realized that it was so many people that needed help that instead of me just sitting up here and just directing people and telling them over and over the same thing, I thought a course would be perfect for our realtors who are already out here hitting the pavement, who already have relationships with these clients, to take on the role as property manager for some of these properties that they're selling to people.
So, you know what? People call me all the time
Yeah.
and they're like, Marky, do you know a good property manager? And let me say this, I do when it comes to commercial real estate. But
Yes.
when it comes to six or fewer units, I have absolutely no one to refer anyone to. If you got a single family home, a two flat, a three flat, a four flat, I don't have a referral for you on the south side of the city of Chicago to manage your property effectively. So what I know for a fact is that this your course is needed right
Yeah.
now, because I don't even have a referral for people, whether they want to do this whether they want to learn how to do it for themselves,
Yeah.
or even if they want to build a business and do it for other people. It just isn't a resource. And the classes that I've taken, oftentimes I've had to travel. So
Yeah.
imagine the cost of the course, your round trip airline ticket, your Uber to and from here and there, and then the cost of the course, right? And so it is such a need, and it is such an investor market, that there's even more of a need. And there's so many landlords who don't even live in close proximity, because real estate is now a global business, to the Chicagoland area.
Right.
And so you realtors are saying they need help, and I know that a lot of realtors know
Yeah.
absolutely nothing about the property management. And you out here with us every single day, so you kind of understand what it is that we're going through. What's the biggest misconception about property management?
The biggest misconception is that people really don't know how to start. I try to tell people that you start with the clients that you already have. They think that they have to start really big, but you actually start with the people that you know. There are so many investors that us realtors are working with in the city of Chicago, like you said, that are not local. So I tell them, start with the people who you recently just sold a property to. That's the easiest way to get started. Yes, you're going to have to get insurance. You're going to have to get some systems that are set up in place, but it's as easy as simply making the decision to offer the services to your existing clients. You don't have to go beating the pavement and trying to figure out who you're going to give your services or sell your services to. It's looking inside of your current network to see who can utilize your services. Oftentimes, I have saw some of my investors who I sold single family houses or two flats too, that just really didn't know how to screen the tenant, where to find their tenant, how to place them. And these are the small things that this is how you get started, because they might start with just simply asking you, can you lease up the property for me? Yes, I can lease up the property for you, but then who's going to maintain it? And those are the things that we lead off by talking to our clients with. I can maintain the property for you. I can collect the rent. I can make sure the service requests get done as well. And that's how you start to offer the services. But the biggest misconception is that it takes a lot to get started. And simply, it doesn't. It starts with just a simple conversation.
So, I told you earlier, I've been getting ready to manage real estate. Okay. Honestly, I've been getting ready to manage real estate since I purchased my first building in 1994. All right. And I've owned numerous properties throughout the year. And then, I'm like, I don't know if this is for me. And then I say, oh, but this is the way to build this wealth, Marky. But then I say, oh, no, girl, you don't want to go have to do this, right? So I'm still getting, let me be honest. See, because I even need you and a property manager, right? Because I'm getting
Right.
ready to do this. And I don't even pride myself on I tell people all the time, stop getting ready to get ready. Like, that's my number one quote to go to, right? But I'm gonna be honest with you, that property management thing, it just scared. And I've had great tenants throughout the years. It's just
Mhm.
like, I don't know. It's only so many hours in the day. So everybody who's joining us, if you want to learn more, go to propertymanagementbasics.com/Marki, Marki is on the screen right now, so that you can find out more about the program. But more importantly, now is that time of year before you start buying Christmas gifts, that we are talking about creating legacies. We're talking about your ability to earn another stream of income and to create a new business for yourself. So propertymanagementbasics.com/Marki. So we understand that people might think that it's harder. So you gave me some you dissolved some of my misconceptions, right? So I'm telling myself, okay, Marky, gonna get ready. What would you say to a realtor who just don't like tenants? They told you, I can't stand them tenants. Tenants get on my nerves, right? What are you telling them?
Well, the first thing I would tell them is that we have home buyers and sellers that we don't like. That's the very first thing. However, we are in the people business. That's the thing that we do. And just like we would get a home buyer or a seller that becomes difficult, we adjust to the situation at hand. That's what we do every single day. The thing is that what we have to realize as a property manager, you are going to be dealing with people. The better you screen your tenants, the better the product that you have, the better tenant that you have. Tenant screening is the most imperative part of property management. You get a good tenant, you have less headaches, you build that rapport. It's all about solving the problem at the surface, whatever the problem is. And that's how I deal with difficult tenants. I simply ask them what the issue is. We come up with a conclusion to resolve the issue. They're happy, I'm happy. Happy tenants are paying tenants. That's the way I look at it. And when you have a difficult tenant, get to the root of the problem, give a resolution, and they're out your hair.
Happy tenants are paying tenants, and we got clients we don't like, right?
That's
Oh,
right.
you just preached a whole sermon. Let me tell you something about, you just said we got clients we don't like. This is the
Yeah.
funniest thing. So my grandfather never spelled my name correctly, and I was so offended, right? And I'm like, he don't even spell my name right, and my mother told me, why do you care if he don't spell your name right when the only time he's ever wrote your name is on an envelope with money in it,
Come on
right?
now. Come
And
on.
so I say that to say it might not be perfect, and their personality don't have to match your
Come on.
personality, right? But
That's
if they
right.
paying that money,
That's
okay,
right.
then they're doing what they're supposed to do, and you don't have to like them. You know what? My grandfather's
Absolutely.
deceased. I wish I did have some envelopes come up in here with some money in it. You can spell my name any kind of way. You can spell
Come
it
on.
backwards, as far
That's
as I'm
right.
concerned at this point, right? Um, look at here. Okay, so you don't have to like them.
No, you don't.
You just want them to be happy tenants, because then
Happy
they'll
paying
be
tenants. Happy paying tenants.
paying tenants. All right, now that look, I feel like I've been to property management church today, and it's only Thursday. So, Lenore,
Yes,
I know that you're a major advocate for our communities. Let me say this: anyone who
absolutely.
follows you, they know that you're out here. You're supporting people. Tonight, I know that we're going to an event, and I never knew the degree in which you helped Lamont. Lamont talked about the fact he didn't even have a place to stay. You came and you got that brother, and you said, "Look, let me put a roof over your head for a second here,"
Yes, ma'am.
and you helped him out. So I know that you have a giving heart, because other people have talked about how you have helped them out, right? And
Yes,
so you're often, and you've already said this today, stabilizing the building. But in stabilizing properties create stabilized neighborhoods. Can
yes.
you share more on what you mean by that?
Absolutely. So what I mean is that, we want to prevent high turnover inside of our communities. That's one of the biggest things we want to do. When a property is managed well, there is pride in that community. I had a property that I recently purchased, 6639 South Sangamon. I bought that building for $20,000. It had been on the city of Chicago's um, in demolition court for the last 3-4 years. I bought that building. We did new siding. We renovated the place, got it out of building court. That me buying that building, putting stabilized tenant was a trickle down effect for that block. Now, when I drive down that block has gotten repaved. It's gotten some new lights. The neighbors over there have did their grass over. They're now taking pride. Everybody is revitalizing their homes. I went over there and seen porches redone, windows redone. It was a trickle down effect. I was the nucleus that came on that block to show them, hey, it might be a part of Inglewood, and that's okay, but it's going to be the best part of Inglewood. When properties are managed well, it builds up the equity of the community. It doesn't matter where it is. As long as there's people living on that block, that housing is desperately needed in the city of Chicago. So we are starting to revitalize the community by stabilizing it. People that don't move, like we have some neighborhoods in Chicago where people are always moving in and moving out. We want to stop that transient moving. We want people, when they do move out of these buildings, we want them to become homeowners. But we don't want them going from apartment 1 to apartment 2 to apartment 3. And so good property management stabilizes community by showing the community that we care. And so,
You know what? Now that I'm looking around, because I'm born and raised in Inglewood off of 59th and State Street,
okay.
and I'm going back thinking about all the different buildings I've seen,
Mm-hmm.
and how you can have that one building, right, come in, and essentially it will change the entire block,
Yes, it
right?
will.
Or in some communities, you do see that one block. I think that I live in Bronzeville now, and people know my block. That when I say what block I live on, they're like, "Oh, I drive down your block all the time. I love your block," right? But my block has a mentality, and I'll tell you the nucleus of our block is a very decorated house across the street, the Martins. The Martins have been here for forever, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it is the Martins, right? Because if you need, when you move in, if you don't have if you didn't have a lawnmower, Mr. Martin had a lawnmower. If you
Yeah,
needed some shears, he got a pair of shears for you, right? Mr. Martin and Mrs. Mama, and we now call them Mama and Papa Martin, they got everything we need over at
absolutely.
their house. Because when you come on the block, they want you to understand, one, they are the senior most people on the block, right?
That's right.
They setting the rules and regulations on this block, and that means that we have to be on one accord. Okay,
Yes.
and it comes down to even how that block looks. And so you can definitely, it takes is one, right? And I know
Yeah.
that when you drove back down that block or drive down it, that your heart feels, because
It feels so good. I mean, it feels real good, Marky.
yeah, you actually you influence change on that block, right?
Yes,
And, and
absolutely.
and wait a minute, based on all the properties you've managed, how many times have you influenced change?
Oh my gosh, it's been a continuous trickle down effect. So, tons of properties. And this is the thing about property management. It is a business, but it is a very rewarding business because Chicago we're losing affordable housing in the city. And for as many properties as we have that we can see that are abandoned and that are dilapidated, there is an investor that is willing to put their money into that building if they have people that they can trust that's going to manage those properties. It's not about just getting the sale, it's about having the consistent residual money that comes in off of that property that you return back to the city. So it's a twofold. We're making money on both sides.
So you just said consistent residual income. Not only
Absolutely.
does the owner make consistent residual income, but so does the property manager,
Absolutely. The
right?
property manager gonna make a check every month.
So what I want you to think about, for those of you who have been sitting on the fence and you understand that this is needed, people need housing, more importantly, affordable housing, and
Yes.
you want one of those consistent residual checks, then property management is definitely a business that you can build, because I don't have one person. Let me just say that again, to refer anyone to. And I mean, people call me all the time. And when they call me because I don't have anyone that just pops out, I say, look, I got somebody commercial for you. I don't have anybody in this residential space for you, because they're moving their parents to live out west with them, and mama got a 2 flat. And I'm like, oh yeah, I don't have nobody to manage mama's property. You can be that person. So there's
Right.
definitely an opportunity that exists. So do you have to be on site? Okay, because I'm thinking I need to get a sleeping bag and sleep in the hallway of this property, right? Do you have to be on site a lot to manage properties?
Marky, I am like the biggest traveler in the world. As long as I have my cell phone, and now I have a tablet, as long as I have my cell phone, I can manage property anywhere in the world that I go to. Now, this is key. It is key that you have systems that are set up in place so that you don't have to run to a property in order to manage it. It is key that you have the system set up on day one. And that's what we go into. What systems do you need to have set up so you're not going there in the middle of the night to do things for a tenant? That's key. But I am in Africa, Dubai, I'm in Costa Rica. I'm always flying somewhere, and my properties never miss a beat.
Oh, so see, that's what I was thinking. I was gonna need a sleeping bag. So you telling me, as long as I got this here good device charged up, that
This
I
right
can
here.
manage my business from anywhere, and that if they go over to propertymanagementbasics.com/Marky, you gonna teach them these systems?
Absolutely. Every system, everything I did from the day that I started my property management company till today, everything is ran off of this cell phone, 100%.
And how long ago did you start that property
I
management company?
started this company back in March of 2020 at the beginning of COVID.
So when you bored, like I'm trying to figure out what was going on. Look, because in March of 2020, let me tell you what was going on with me. I came home on Friday, March the 13th. I sat in that bed and Netflix for about 2 weeks, right? I think I might have been lightweight. I was actually feeling like it was 2008. Didn't know if I was going back through post-traumatic stress syndrome because of the foreclosure market. And I'm like, oh, then I looked up and realized it was 14 days later. And I said, oh, girl, you got to get back in the shower on a consistent basis, right? And you out here starting new companies, and I'm trying to decide, oh, should I bathe today? Honey, please. So you started a whole new company.
Yes.
In the midst, look, it took me a couple of months. I had to get my mind right first. But I will say this. Once I did get my mind right, I told myself, Marki, we have to emerge better. We have to.
Absolutely.
And so you put you documented your whole process, bringing in years of experience, developing the systems, because you understood that there was a need, and we have to start stabilizing our communities because no one's going to do it for us. So what is the income potential managing properties compared to what the average realtor makes monthly? Let's talk about where the money resides, where the money resides. I got my pen now. I got it back in my hand. Let's talk about what them figures look like.
Okay, so let's talk about money. So everybody always say it's not enough money for me. So this is what I tell people. There's as much money potential as you want it to have. So on average, the average property manager makes between 10 and 15% of rent. So if you have $1,000 a month rent that you're collecting, you make $100 off of every $1,000 if you're charging them 10%. If you're charging them 15%, it's $150. What I explain to people is when you go to assess a building, you need to look at every component of that building to make a determination as to how much work do you need to put into this building to get it stabilized. Because the goal is stabilization of the building. So if you're taking on a troubled building, then you may be making your property management fee 15%. If you're taking on an easy flowing building where everything is going smooth, then you might give that owner a discount and charge them only 10%. It depends on what is the need of the building. This is how I break it down to people. When we as realtors are collecting a check, and this has been happening a lot lately, those checks are sporadic. They're not consistent. You can have a closing that is clear to close on Thursday, that by Friday, that deal is done. Somebody may have went and bought some furniture and your deal is done, and you may have already been banking on that commission check. The beautiful part about property management is when you collect the rent, you collect your property management fee always. So if you're managing a 10-unit building at $1,500 rent every month, that's $1,500 that comes to you every month. I don't know where most people live at, but $1,500 goes really great on a mortgage or a car payment or anything else. I had one young lady say, I'm gonna get a building and I'm gonna start managing so I could buy me a new car. And I said, okay, your goal is to get a new car. Then you manage the units that you need in order for you to get that car that you want. And then she said, well, I'm gonna start managing so that I can go on more vacations. And I said, well, you start banking that money so you can go on vacation. Or someone else said, I'm going to start property management so I can build up a down payment so that I can start buying me some building. Whatever your goal is or whatever your reason why you wanted to get into property management, it's achievable, Marki. You can make $50,000 a year. You can make $100,000. It depends on the realtor and what they're going to be most comfortable with. Some people say, well, I just only want to manage single family houses where the tenant shovels their snow and cut their grass. Guess what? You can do that. Or you want to decide you want to manage just condominiums. Guess what? You can do that. I don't want to be called for no maintenance. Okay, I have some investors who want to do all their own maintenance. All they want you to do is collect their rent. Oh, all I got to do is collect your rent. Okay, let me send out this app. All the tenants pay through this app, and it's on auto pay. So you determine what you're going to do. It's no perfect pick as to what you literally do a custom property management agreement with that owner, and you put all the terms up in there. Custom.
So hold on, because I got to come back. I want you to look at this question because Ty Pearson want to know 15% of what. But before you do that, you know what you just reminded me of? The new Amazon commercial, right? And in the Amazon commercial, the person said, I only want to work evenings. And the other person said, I want them to pay my tuition and all of it, right? And everybody
Right.
got a different, and they all like, well, come and work at Amazon. So what I just heard you, look, this is like the Amazon of real estate, okay? Well,
Yeah.
I want to do this. But what you said was you can come up with a custom property management program after you go and assess the building. Girl, look,
Absolutely.
because I'm gonna tell you something. I'm just thinking property managers took everything, right? It made good sense,
No,
right? You need to go and assess the building because the goal is to stabilize it. And if you can get those rents up because you stabilized it, then you as a property manager can earn more money.
that's correct.
Like you just make look. I'm loving this whole conversation. But now Todd Pearson, and then we also have Jardine over here. They want to know 15% of what. So let's break them 15%.
So the 15% will be based upon what the rent is, 15% of the rent. Now, let me explain something to you. The more work that a property manager has to do, the more you're going to pay them. So I've had it whereas a person has a building where they had 6 tenants that did not pay rent during the whole entire COVID. And I explained to them, guess what? I'm not going to be receiving any rent for those 6 tenants that you allowed not to pay rent. So therefore, I'm going to charge you a flat fee for just handling those tenants to make sure I get them out. And when we got good tenants inside this building, then we can put you on a percentage rent. But traditionally, it is a percentage of the rent that is collected.
So they said they dropped the word Amazon Flex. So we on the property management flex program, right? You
That's
gonna
right.
flex it, okay? Every
That's right.
deal is a customization, waiting on direction. Come through, Christopher. Oh,
Yeah.
Christopher dropped that knowledge. Hey, we got a couple of people over here speaking to us, and then Jarnine said she get it. So Jarnine, is this something that you need in your life? Is this something that you need in your life? Because guess what? I'm getting schooled over here. One thing that I want you to keep in mind when it comes to real estate, I believe that there's niches and riches, and you should own your market. I don't
That's right.
profess to understand the property management industry. That's why I have Lenor here, because that's what Lenor does. I don't profess to understand the commercial side of the business. And when I do have commercial questions, I'm gonna call on me a K Rock, and then I got Tony Hardy. I'm telling you who they are, because I don't need to specialize in everything. You surround yourself with people who are smarter, more gregarious, and outgoing than yourself, and you go to them and you say, well, hey, how would I do this? What I do know is that you do want a niche. What I do know is that there's opportunities right now in the property management space, because I don't have anybody to refer anyone to if they're looking on the south side. Now, the south side ain't the only side of town. We got the southwest, the southeast, the west side. I do know that in communities that we have single family homes, multifamily properties that are non-commercial, there is a need for this, because I don't have a referral nowhere to give to no one in the city of Chicago. And so they are definitely making some comments. If you have any questions, please come on over there and drop those questions in for us. Now, you know that it can get kind of cold
Oh,
in
yeah.
Chicago, right?
Yes.
And let me tell you how I don't like cold, right? You probably like this dang on Marky. I hired my son a driver 2 weeks ago, and the driver is out having cataract surgery. So today was the first day that I had to take this child to school in 2 weeks. I had a lightweight attitude this morning
Cold.
as that chill hit me, right? I can
Yes.
tell you right now, I ain't look, as a owner of a property, I wouldn't want to go, right?
Mhm.
I need this property manager. So with this being said, let's talk about property management in the winter time, in the dead of winter, when it's 30 below zero wind chill factors, right?
Mhm.
And your whole face get a facelift when you step outside.
Yes.
It's stuck on up. So let's talk about what would that look like, and would a realtor who is a property manager for the first time, would they be able to handle that? How would I navigate the fact that
Oh,
my son
Marky,
got a driver?
guess what?
Can you help me out? Because he
I'm
got
gonna
a
help
driver.
you out. Guess what, Marky?
But
You gonna be snuggled up in your bed like I am.
I could still snuggle.
You're gonna be snuggled up under your covers. This is the reason why you're not getting outside, you're not going out running out in that cold. What you gonna do? No, this is what you do. Like I discussed earlier, systems are in place. So when the fall hit, I have my snow contract already set up. I've already signed that for the winter. Our heat coils that go across the gutters, y'all see them gutters that have all them icicles running down over your 6, 12, 14 units. We put heat coils inside the gutter so don't nobody slip and fall down the stairs. We take salt, we put salt buckets and shovels outside of every person's door so that if they're going to be coming down the stairs, and most of the time our snow gets removed between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m., but maybe somebody's going out at 2 a.m. They get salt, they get shovel, and our salt contractor and shovel contractor goes out when snow hit that ground. We do our maintenance for our boiler systems. We make sure that furnaces are already done. We do the preventative maintenance ahead of the cold weather. We make sure that the salt and shovels is there ahead of the snow falling. Everything boils down to having the system in place so you're not getting a call at 4 a.m. on a Thursday saying, hey, I'm cold, my heat isn't working, this salt, I slipped and fell. Slip and falls are huge in Chicago because we get salt, snow, and all of those things. We want to make sure that we prevent all of those things. So when you go through the course, you're going to have a checklist of things that you're going to be looking at and making sure that you do so you can prevent those things. But yeah, when it's cold outside and it's snowing, I just pull my covers up and go to sleep.
So I can have a driver. Wait a minute. Hold on. Because all I'm thinking, girl, look, just the thought process of being cold does something to my spirit, right?
Yes.
And then I need to probably go get me some of them heat coils because I'm thinking like I really need those even on my primary residence. Like,
Yes.
What am I thinking about over here? So you are getting us all the way together today. If you want to learn about the property management business, I want you to go over to propertymanagementbasics.com/Marki. Because one, we got a big fat discount today. I mean, a humongous discount today.
Yes.
For you to take the course, to put the systems in place by the end of the year, because there's a lot of interesting things going on right now in the city of Chicago. So now is that ideal time to set your business up. Get it set up. Look, write that cost off for your business setup on this year's taxes, and then you can hit that ground running with a full-fledged business plan for 2022, because it is about building a legacy, and it is also about stabilizing, because you can already have me use this word stabilize, totally different. So does your property management basic course truly cover everything? Now I didn't learn some stuff, okay? There's some things I need to do around here. Especially, guess what, as we get older.
Yes.
Yeah. Because, see, at 25, that wind hitting, the back, the small of the back was okay. At 51, when it hit, my whole body, right, it does something to me. I just need you to know that, okay? Yeah. So every coat I got cover my butt because I can't stand the air to hit the small of my back. I know some of you still cute and young. You can tolerate it, right? So it covers everything.
It covers everything. It covers from beginning to end. So I have over 25 years in property management. I cover everything that I learned as a private owner, everything that I learned working at CHA as an asset manager, overseeing thousands of units, everything that you need in order to manage a property efficiently is inside of this course. And just to answer Trina, this course covers property management nationwide. Doesn't matter if you're in Chicago, Washington, Florida. Yes, you may not have the snow and ice that you have to deal with, but property management is property management everywhere.
Okay, because I'm seeing, let me see, we got some people saying yes, quality service upfront is key, right? But you're not just doing property management management to do it. You want to build a sustainable business. That means you also need to have a good reputation. And
Absolutely.
people have called me, but people who have good people, other people who need good people, right? The better the referral you give, the better the referral you receive. And so
Absolutely.
you want to have these systems in place. Someone said you are definitely ahead of the game. And let me tell you what you just dropped down that I did not know, which kind of makes it, which makes me feel a little different. CHA Asset Manager, Chicago Housing Authority, right?
Yes.
You've managed for them. That means you have managed thousands of units working for them. And this is the background that
Yes.
you have pulled into creating this course. So they wanted to know, was the course only geared towards Illinois licensees? You said absolutely not. Property management is property management. Just the systems alone, right,
Yes.
is worth it, because guess what? You got me now thinking, get ready to get ready. If I was to do this effectively with my mobile device and I had systems, I could have Austin's driver pick him up, take him to school, right? But I
Yes.
have prepped these properties, the boiler looking good. We got our salt
Absolutely.
buckets with our shovels out. We got
Yep.
our coils going in the gutter system. Girl, I just felt all good. I felt all ready and prepared. I'm like, ooh, wait, but I got to get my own house ready. Can you come over here and manage my house? I got to get my own house together. So we all know that everything ain't for everybody, right?
Yes.
In your experience, who is not a good fit for the property management basic course?
A person that is not a good fit is a person that don't want to be bothered. So if you do not want to be bothered, if you don't want to, if you're not outgoing, if you don't like talking to people, if you're not interested in growing a business, because let's be honest, Marky, like you said, we've created so many investors over these last couple of years that everyone needs property management help. So if the minute that you start offering property management services, you're going to get inundated with the number of people who need help. They just simply need help. If you're not interested in answering calls, because that's the bulk of my business. The bulk of my business is pretty much me answering calls, figuring out what the issue is, if there is an issue, and then me just being a creative person and solving that problem. That is 99% of my issue. I can tell you that on any given day, I may not get any calls whatsoever. I do the most of my work the first 5 days of every month. Outside of that, it is nothing. So most of my tenants, they send me an email if they need something, and I just simply give it a work order and assign it to someone. And the way I have my system set up, they send me a picture, it's done, they receive their payment. If you don't want to be bothered, you don't want to be a responsive person, that's the only time. But however, realtors are always have to be responsive. So we are people. That's what we do. Every day of our lives, we are helping people to address their housing needs. So, but if it's not what you want to do, that's the only time. What I would say, and it's very important to say inside of this course, as an asset manager, I not only looked out for the properties on behalf of the city, because asset managers are the city of Chicago's representative on behalf of public housing. That's what I was. So I was the owner's rep for all the buildings that I managed for the city. When I look at managing property, I am always looking at the best interest for my owners and making sure that I minimize all possible risk. Inside of this course, I made sure that I put everything that I needed to put in for you not only to learn, but so that you kept your risk at minimal as possible, because there's always a slip and fall, a he said, she said, a complaint that could possibly be filed against you. I take as much risk as possible out of take all of those risks inside of this course. So I've taken everything that I've learned in 25 years of managing property and made it as simple as ABC, that a fifth grader can start a property management company. And once you start generating income and you get your flow, it's just a matter of picking up units, because I get calls from all over the place. And you ask, well, you at one point in time, you thought that property managers take anything. I personally don't take anything. I screen owners like they screen me. because we want to make sure that we're a good fit for each other. So at the end of the day, property management is a great business that you can grow as big or as small as you want it to be. And with Property Management Basics, you have the tools in order to grow that business.
Wow, I'm glad to hear that. You can go to propertymanagementbasics.com/Marki. We have a huge discount. Lenore was very generous. She said that we would make this offer good through the day. $600 off, which is even a bigger discount, right, than what is on her published site. If you go over to propertymanagementbasics.com/Marki. Now, I know tonight me and Lenore are going to an event because she's receiving an award, and I think I have an award in my name, right? That we're going to go and celebrate essentially excellence in the world of real estate here in the Chicagoland area. We'll be at the DuSable Museum. So while we're out networking, because she's built systems, I've built systems, we're going to receive acknowledgement for all of this hard work and system building that we've been doing, right? There's been a whole lot of building systems around here. I want to know if you have any questions. Come on over, drop those questions down. Someone wanted to know, and I think this might be state specific, but doing property management, does the client pay the broker or the agent? And I don't have an answer for you.
Okay,
I think it's contingent upon the agreement that you have, but I'm not sure.
It depends on how you're going to be managing that property. If you're managing it directly through your brokerage, then the payment will be going directly to your broker, and then whatever your split is with that broker. However, if you set up a property management company and the contract is strictly through your property management company, then that payment must go to you. In the state of Illinois, every property manager must be a broker. But if you set up a property management company inside of your state, then those payments will be going to you.
Oh, I'm glad you broke that down. I'm glad to come over here because they want me to copy the link and drop that link over into the chat. So let me drop this link over into the chat for everyone, and I will also make sure that it is posted. It should be in the description as well on every single page. And so, guys, if you haven't had a chance, we do want you to go over to propertymanagementbasics.com/Marki. We have a great discount so that you can learn a new skill set that will enhance your existing business. Hopefully you will want to stabilize the community and manage your own stuff, but then also managing properties for others because there is a need. There's been a need. And here's the joy of this. Now I can have someone in the future to refer all these people to, because I don't have anyone right now in my arsenal to do that with. Lenore, is there anything that you want to tell everyone in close? And I see you got your lipstick on. I got my lipstick on. We getting ready to go and network and just celebrate excellence here in Chicago real estate.
The last thing I just want to say is that, with the up and downs that we've had with the market, the purpose of me creating this course is so that whomever decided that they wanted to do property management, they had the tools that they needed to be successful inside of this field and in this industry. There is an abundance of property and there's an abundance of investors that we have honestly created here inside of the market. And so there is no better way to help your investor create wealth than stabilizing their property so that they can feel comfortable in continuing to grow their portfolio. And you helping them to stabilize their portfolio, it helps to create a consistent stream of income for you so that you can build your portfolio up. Everything that we're doing now, we're not just doing stuff to do it anymore. We're doing it with a purpose and with a goal in mind. We're buying back the block here in Chicago. Join us through Property Management Basics.
So there was one last question. How is the course organized? Are there any Zooms? How much is online study? They want to know, I guess, essentially the structure.
Okay, so right now, the way the course is created for you to take the modules step by step, for you to actually study the material, follow the process that I have on there, the studying the modules that are on there. At the end, and a little further down, we're going to create some coaching that we're going to offer for people that have taken the course so that they can have more coaching. Because sometimes people are visual learners, they're listening learners, and everything else. And so, but we definitely want to get the material in your hand first, and then down the line we'll be offering some coaching, so that for some people who are a little stuck and confused, we can help them through that as well.
So Lenore, it's been real. We don't want Lamont to be mad at us,
I
and
know.
we're late. So, guys, one, thank you for tuning in. You can come back and watch this on this feed. If you want to see the replay, it is available on every individual channel. That would be YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Thank you for hanging out with Lenore and I. And make sure that you go over to propertymanagementbasics.com/Marki. And we look forward to seeing you inside of her course. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.